Hey everyone, welcome to Bobini Creates. My name is Jeannie, and today is January the 25th, 2026. I know that I'm looking at this, so I might as well just show you real quick. I have my little fancy calendar that I keep on my desk, so I can never forget the date, hopefully. Anyway, I thought maybe we would go ahead and do a check-in this week of kind of what I'm up to, things I've acquired recently that materials and whatnot. Um, and maybe later do a little bit of a flip through on progress in this book because I've really been trying hard to work on it, and I feel like I'm starting to get somewhere, and it's really feeling good. And I kind of enjoy going in and just flipping through pages and improving on a lot of pages. That's been a lot of what I've done this week, and I've loved it. So we'll set this one aside because I'm going to do that later. Um, so this week, let's see here. I took a little trip to my very favorite little used bookstore, and this is one of the few, or one of the couple of Camilla D'Errico books that I didn't have. And so, yeah, I was able to pick this up and use my trade-in credit, which was awesome. But look at this. The cover's not even cracked. Like, it's brand spanking new, and didn't cost me anything because I used my trade-in. I take things in, and they'll give me credit, and it's, oh man, it's just like the best thing ever for getting new books. So I'm excited to get started on this. Let me just show you real quick what I do with these books. So if you don't know, I had to pull this off my bookshelf. If you don't know, I disc bind these larger books. So I haven't obviously yet done that. So that's going to need to, I'll need to take that in and have the spine trimmed and then disc bind it myself. This is just so much easier for me on these big books. If you haven't seen, I've done a video on it. I'll try to remember to link it below on disc binding these. I've been doing it for a couple years, and I have enjoyed it so much. What I really like is, like, you can fold it back on itself, and it just makes it really easy. So that's in the works. I usually like to wait till I have a stack of about 3 of these because they can actually cut through 3 at a time, and it saves me money to kind of wait. So we'll set that to the side. Oh, and also I got this at that same favorite bookstore that I love so much, Manga Girls Adventure Special. Now, completely new, but they did put their own price tag on it because it is a used bookstore. When I tore it off, it messed it up a little bit. You know what I should have used, and I'm used to doing that. I use a heating tool usually to take stickers off, and I don't know. I was just in a hurry, but no big deal. Anyway, this one is issue number 133 and completely untouched. Look at even the same thing on this one. The spine isn't even cracked, but lots of cool pages in here. I'm looking forward to diving into this one too. And I don't know if any of you guys watched my last video. It was my completed pages video for the last quarter of 2025. And in that, I had mentioned that I really wanted to work this year. I wanted to work more in these Coloring Heaven books. I have a lot of them, and I have so much opportunity to work in them, and I'd really like to. So if any of you have a desire to work on these, hit me up and let me know if you want a video on my collection of these. I'm happy to show that to you so you can maybe see the books that I have, and then we can find a book that we have in common that we can work in. I already had somebody reach out to me. Davissa from DJ's Colorful Escape went ahead and told me what she had in the way of these books, and we matched up the ones that we have in common. So I'm excited to go ahead and do some buddy colors with her in different ones. And yeah, I think that's going to be kind of cool. So I should show you this too real quick while I'm thinking about it. Hang on. Okay, so what I wanted to show you is the Davis and I, like I said, we went through and we picked out some pages that we wanted to work on just to kind of get started. So we were thinking, okay, February, Valentine's. So what are our options there? And honestly, this one here is a new one for, in my collection as well. And this one being used, it is kind of got some, marks on it, but, and also some bent pages, but that's okay. I mean, I get these for like next to nothing or even free with my, like I said, with my trade-in. But and this one does have some pages that are like just little bits here and there that are colored in. But anyway, we went through and we decided on a couple of pages to get us started for Valentine's Day. So this one we decided to do. I just thought that was really cute with the hearts, and probably something that'll go quickly. I would think you could use alcohol markers on it. I'm just hoping that we don't look too similar, just because I'm picturing Valentine's and certain colors that go along with that. So I might have to think outside the box on this one. So that's going to be in the works. I don't laugh at this one, but we both love Halloween and that kind of thing. So we marked a whole bunch of pages in this book, and we were really kind of trying to think outside the box on this one as far as I don't know, pages that you wouldn't necessarily think of as Valentine's, but maybe could be. Like I think of, like for example, vampires could be something that you could do. That those are always like the forbidden love stories, or that type of thing. But in the end, we ended up deciding to do this one. This is Princess Belle, just because I think we could, I don't know, it seemed kind of romantic in a way with the rose and the beautiful dress and everything. So yeah, I think, and I realize there's some fall leaves or whatever, and but yeah, that one. But also, let me just show you. There's some other ideas in here. Like we were just kind of looking spooky, romantic, dark romantic kind of type pictures, right? Can you kind of see that? And I may or may not get to any of those. We picked out the ones that we wanted to do, but we also saw, some of these. I know it looks like Halloween, I get it, but I feel like there's just so many little heart there. I mean, I guess that's a stretch, but for Valentine's, I wish that I had more opportunity to work in some of the more Halloween type books. So I thought I really want to kind of do that more, not necessarily color everything so seasonal, and try to reach for some other things throughout the year that are not necessarily that season or that holiday. So I got a couple of new things as far as supplies are concerned. So with some uh, what am I trying to say? Amazon gift card kind of situation. Thank you, Angie. I was able to get the super golden markers, which I've really wanted those metallics. And so I couldn't wait to dive into these. I dropped the box and it split, so I had to put some packing tape on that. Figures, right? Right. It's new, but whatever. But I like that it's kind of a nice little freestanding uh, container. I don't have to put it in something else. But let me just tell you, I went to town with those, and I they're probably something where less is more is a better approach on these, but that's not what I did. What I what I ended up doing was just like coloring all the things. Let me show you. This is actually a completed page. Well, I think it's a completed page with my friend Shelly on Instagram, but Worlds of Wonder. And I thought, oh man, I can't wait to use those. So I pulled it out and I really colored just about every little last thing with those super golden markers. And then after I did that, I was like, whoa, that is way too much metallic. That's way too much glitter. And so, well, metallic anyway. So I ended up dialing it back, and I went in and I used some just regular acrylic markers. My Woomers, I used some of my Tanmit acrylic markers as well, and I toned it down. So it just was too much shine, and so I did that. But I did go in and use a little bit of glitter gel pen here, and some pencil went over part of that as well, which was nice. And I feel like I was able to kind of to tone it down, which it really needed to see that improvement. So, oh my goodness, yeah. And kind of a different color palette, but I'm digging it. So yeah, I don't know if I want to work on it anymore. I was kind of thinking I might go into, these windows and add a little bit of more of like a orangey color, like a warmer glow, but we'll see. I don't know yet. So if you get the super golden markers, just maybe simmer down a little bit on those. Next up, I'm gonna show you one more thing. Um, just a simple little thing. I got some tissue paper, and it's a pack of 100, and they're 12 by 12, which actually worked. I just felt like get bigger, and that way I can cut them down. I've never been a person that likes to put paper in between pages, but I've just had some instances lately where I've had to go back and correct some pages that got damaged. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put tissue paper or wax paper between everything, but I'm going to use it somewhat on things I know will or have the potential to damage the adjacent page. Like for example, if I'm going to use oil pastels, that's probably a decent possibility depending on how I seal it. Yeah, so that anyway, so this is new. Actually, I just got that yesterday, so I'm in the process of cutting those down. And oh, this was awesome. My brother and his family went to the UK, and he brought me this book back from Scotland. I was just blown away by this. How sweet is that? And then to bring it back, and I'm sure it was probably not fun to try to bring it home in your suitcase and keep it nice and everything, but gosh, I just so thrilled. Anyway, so I can't wait to get started on this, and the paper is just so nice. So I think this is just going to be such a fun book, to color in. So yeah, they had a really nice trip, if you're wondering, and it was fun to hear about that. We went to the movies the other night, and he kind of gave me the lowdown on the trip, and it sounds like they had a really good time. But thank you, Jack. This was just the most thoughtful thing. So thank you. And I was gonna do a flip through of this, but I see that Colored by Maya actually has a flip through of this. So please visit her channel if you're interested in a flip through, because I think you would really enjoy this book as well. So okay, now let's go ahead and get into the summer night situation here. So on this one, with the finished pages or whips in here, I kind of have been going back and correcting some of those pages that had, I don't know, bleed through or whatever. Like I said, that should have had paper in between, and just also could benefit from additional details. So I've been doing a lot of work in this. So let's go ahead and I'll show you some footage of what I've been working on. So let's see here. Let me find the one that I want to show you. So
Okay.
after I did all the acrylic work on it, I went in with the Lango gel pens and went over some of the black lines on that. And actually, that is something else new that I was able to get was the this is gonna, let me just kind of do this. I think if I can make it not quite so um, close up, but anyway, this, and I really love these. They're so fun to work with. I am not in love with this container just because you have to like latch unlatch each one of these, and I don't know, it's just a little bit of a pain. I appreciate that it's organized, but that's the thing that I didn't love. But I'm loving the pens themselves. So I went in and you can see the difference, and I've outlined, with a darker color. I started with a lighter color here and ended up thinking, that I wanted to go darker. So I may go back over this a little bit, but I think it helps. So like if you compare this to like these, or here you go, right over here. If you see this one that I've outlined the edges and then like that, I do think it's a help. I'm still trying to decide if I want to do anything with these gel pen centers, obviously have the black lines. I might just leave those. I'm undecided. But anyway, so what I'm doing is just kind of taking these and hitting some of the black lines, and um, hopefully you can sort of see. Oh, actually, let me get this closer for you. Going over those black lines. And, it doesn't make them disappear entirely. Oh, man. Of course, while I'm on camera, I'm not quite hitting the lines. But this was kind of cool because I went in and I picked out the colors that I wanted, the leaf color and the flower color. And gosh, it's been so cold lately, and I know I shouldn't even talk, and I'm sorry to do that. We've been, in the 60s and rainy, and I know that's not cold, but bless all of you elsewhere who have, had to deal with this storm and the freezing temperatures. And yeah, I mean, I just hope that that's going on right now as we speak, of course, this weekend. And I'm just hoping, you guys have all the best luck as far as, staying warm and your electricity staying on and your water. And just, yeah, my heart goes out to you guys. But as for me, being the baby that I am, it was chilly and it was raining really hard outside, which I love the sound of that. But my husband and I went in the living room, and I pulled this book out, my trusty coloring cart, and these pens. Watched some Landman if any of you guys are watching that, and just kind of went over these, and it was really relaxing to work on, and it felt good to kind of have some good progress, just sitting in another room and coloring, but not having to bring absolutely everything I own out of my office. Just a few little things, and quietly, sitting by the fire and coloring. So that was a lot of fun. So yeah, just kind of doing these things like this. I'm not gonna go on and on with that, but that, I think I'm gonna leave her her face alone. I could go over that too. I don't know. Right now, I'm thinking I want to leave it. But also what I did is I went in with the green, and I went on the outside of, the leaves, and then just on the inside of this vein, if you can see that, and kind of like that, and just to kind of make those stand out. And I'll probably go in and maybe do a little bit more shading, but I've really been enjoying, guys, I've really been enjoying going back in and working on pages that I previously thought were done. And it's just a kind of a good feeling to see them bump up a little bit more. It's just been kind of fun. I always, in the past, I've always thought, oh, when a page is done, I'm done. I don't need to revisit it. But guess what? It's kind of cool to go back in and rework those a little bit. So as I get time and as I'm feeling it and inspired with ideas, I'm going back in and doing. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at my progress in this book. So let's start, and I kind of hate to shut that because it's wet. You know what I'm going to do is I've got a piece of paper here. We'll just go like that for a second. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this book. Yeah, bring it in a little closer there. Okay, Summer Nights by Hannah Carlzon. So I started off, some of you guys might remember, I started off doing this book in order, and let me just tell you, that was thrown by the wayside pretty quickly, just because I got tired of it and I wanted to be able to do my own pages, select my own pages as I wanted to. And anyway, I'm not going to tilt the book. Really, I don't think. It might tilt the page a little bit just so you can see some of the shine, but really, let's just do a quick flip through. But I've really enjoyed this book. Obviously it's an oldie, but really enjoyed working in this. And this is one, now that I have those Lango gel pens, I can see myself going in and doing a little bit of outlining here and there. Or, I can see things that I can improve. Same thing on this one a little bit. I can see, just some residue a little bit. So I might go in and try to help that out a little bit. But yeah, let's see here. Add my tissue paper in between the pages on some of these. I loved this one. This one was so much fun for me to do. It's one of those ones like when you get a new coloring book and you just really love certain pages. This one was that for me, and I was just like, I just knew I was going to mess it up, I did this just the other day. Excuse me. This one didn't have a background and it had all this open space. So I took a stencil and some Tanmit gel pen and just kind of put that in there. And yeah, I really enjoyed these ones, these little owls. We have a soft spot for owls because we have them in our neighborhood. And yeah, I should, if I remember, I'll try to insert a picture of our owls. Yeah, just so cool to hear them and see them. And these ones, this one, this past week I went in and this was another edition. It had a little bit of smudgies on it, and I went in with some watercolor and did some dabbing, and then I went in with the super golden and did a little bit of dotting, if you can see the shine on that, maybe a little bit here. He said I wasn't going to do this, but you might be able to see some shine on the edges there. So that looks a lot better, and honestly it probably did need a little bit more added to it. This one I don't think you guys have seen yet. Oh, I think I just completed that this week, as a matter of fact. Okay, yeah. I had fun with the Lango gel pens outlining. That was really, really kind of fun. And trying to make it kind of match a little bit, but yet different with its own feel. And then you've seen that one. And then aside from that, let's see here. I've gone in a little bit here and there and just allowed myself, as I felt like it, went in here with some metallic paint, went in here with some water-based markers. Okay, this one was a finished page I felt like previously. I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a background here, but in the meantime, I did add some black around this little border. So, I am revisiting this one. I love this one. I think I showed that to you in my last video. Okay, so there's quite a bit not done. Got some windows colored in. This one, I hate that I don't know what happened here, but I tried to go over it with Posca or something, and I need to work on getting rid of that little spot. Some random, you know, water-based marker. This one I could probably go back in and do a background. I don't have to, but you know, if I'm inspired to, I will. I'm not going to put any pressure on myself. Some gold gel pen and the face, some more here. When I do the gold gel pen or paint, I feel like I always need to go back in and kind of clean them up. So that's something I can do. I can't wait to do that one. I think that's a really pretty one. Just again, I got some either metallic or color shift paint. I don't remember which, and some gel pen for the honeycomb, and I'll come back in and rework that. This one done. Let's see. See. Random beak there and there. Yeah, just sometimes I get the idea that I want to go in and work on this, but I don't have a lot of time, so I'll just go in and color little bits and pieces. And I like that I've given myself permission to do that. I didn't used to be that way. I used to start a page, as you know, start a page, finish the page, but now I'm kind of all over the place, and I'm enjoying that. It's kind of freed me up a lot. Not my favorite page, but I didn't love the snakes anyway, so I just kind of tried to make it as silly as I could. I may go back in and add some dots or something just to tone down that metallic paint. More windows, more beaks. I think this is going to be a fun one as well. It's really cute. Okay, another couple beaks. Okay, this one I worked on this week. This was a whip, and I had metallic paint, and I've gone in and tried to work, you know, add some pencil, add some gel pen. Not done with it, but I have a really cool idea for the background on this, and I may do a video on that with you. Yeah, I thought so much about what could I do besides just adding a little bit of color here. So still working on this one. Still working on this one. Finish page here. I hope you can't hear my background. It's kind of noisy at my house. I don't know why I marked that. I think for Halloween, and then I never did it. I think that might be it, guys. Let's just see. Let's go through these quickly. Yep, yep. That is it. So I'm getting there, right? I'm really getting there. So if there's a page in here that any of you guys want to buddy with, I would love to do that. I'm just digging this book so much. So thanks for joining me on my little coloring check-in, and I hope to be able to do the same thing again next week. So I will see you then. Thanks for joining. Bye now.